There we go.
Rock it like you so.
There we go. Morning, everyone. Should be all working and rejigged. Yes, everything should be working and all rejigged, and the microphone looks fantastic. Okay, let's get the top down view in. There we go. Hey, it's all coming up roses, considering I didn't test this and I'm still very much asleep right now. Very much asleep. How is everyone? Is everyone good? I have no clue where we were. Where were we? Does anyone remember? It is Monday. It is a new week. It's been a whole weekend. Things have happened. I'm not seeing any unmarked, so I'm pretty sure we were just done with the colour. Yes, we were doing the reflection. Okay, in which case I think we're going to be in the place where we select the next colour to do, and we're going to have to mark it out. So now part of me is really tempted to do all the blue, but I know that that's not actually going to be the best thing to do right now. Ooh, yum 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 yum. Oh man, I tell you. Sometimes my brain just does its thing, and I'm like, brain, what are you up to? And brain's just like, cookie. Feels very much like one of those days. I'm feeling the hollow hearts, you know, kind of feeling the hollow hearts. Okay. Be right back, folks. Sorry, I just forgot something. Sorry about that. Alright, okay, where were we? We were deciding between the hearts and thinking about the weekend. Because, man, it was a weekend and a half. The real, I don't want to say stress is the wrong word. The real, should we say highlight of the weekend was it was a long weekend. Here we go. So I think we can do the quarter circle. Okay, so that's that color there. Where is that color? What is that color? Because I'm just worried that I've already done the base of the fishing rod. So the base of the fishing rod, there is a splash of... What the hell color is that? Oh, that is the... That is the little crosses. Okay, cool. So we're looking for slightly more towards brown, but similar shade as this. That's a good contender. Yeah, it's not too dark. Okay, let's go through that. And I can tell you about my weekend. Because, woo! So it was a long weekend for me. Because Friday was a global day for Adobe, which was nice. I need to occasionally just take more Fridays off. Just every so often, you know, use some of my holiday to just say, this weekend's a long weekend, because they're useful. They're really, really useful. But as I said on the stream on Friday morning, I had to go off, and I was very keen to do some writing. Now, I'm not prepared yet to say what I was writing, but I was hoping it was going to be online on Friday night. And I went into London, and I went walking. Just walking. Just sort of, sometimes I go walk in the countryside, and I just sort of, usually I do it for like a week, like 4 days or so, you know. During the week usually, because I like doing it during the week, because then there's less things. It's a fairly, walkabout for me is like a thing I've done most of my life, and some years I've not been able to do it, but yeah, I wasn't able to do it last year, and haven't really done it this year, which, I'll be honest, has sucked. And now that winter's setting in, it's less likely I'm going to get to do it this year. But hey, I did like a little mini one, and I wanted to get some writing done. So I'm walking around, getting some lovely pictures of London, because if you know what you're doing, you can find these lovely little enclosures, these lovely little spots in London, which are delightful, really, really delightful. So getting some lovely pictures and having a bit of a wander, as one does. And while I'm doing this wandering, I am pausing every so often with the Chromebook, and I'm writing. And I'm writing up a storm. By the time I met my wife up for dinner, and we were having dinner at this lovely ramen bar in, wasn't it Old Street? It was sort of on the edge of Soho, towards, yeah, sort of on the northeasterly edge of Soho. Anyway, I forget what the exact area is called. Having this lovely ramen, I'm excitedly telling her about all of the words I've managed to finish. Just shy. Well, I didn't know how many words it was, and I was like, "Do you think you'll have any energy to read it tonight?" And she's like, "Maybe," and I'm like, "Please do, because it's really important to me, and I'm really proud of it." She's like, "Okay." And I am in a celebratory mood, and I am drinking a lot of sake with my dinner. Morning. And going through this all, then I'm trying to figure out on the Chromebook, how do I get an accurate word count out of this thing? Finally, excuse me. For those, I recently had wiped the Chromebook because I was having trouble updating the Linux virtual machine on it. But anyway, so on the because I use that for a bunch of stuff. On the bus back, I'm able to get a word count out of this thing, and it is just shy of 10,000 words. Now, 10,000 words in a day is not to be sneezed at. 10,000 words, 10,000 good words in a day. I mean, yeah, there were problems with the writing. There always is, but I don't think I've ever written 10,000 words so fluidly. It was really a good experience. And to be clear, the subject matter had been tibbling in my brain for a very long time, so it's there. So we get home, and I was so frustrated that I couldn't get an accurate word count on the bus. I'm like, let me just do that Linux setup, because I remember it being quite easy on the Chromebook. And my drunk ass put the Chromebook into developer mode, not thinking. And for those of you who don't know, the Chromebook has a secure boot, and whenever you put it into developer mode, it wipes the hard drive. And I was so fast and so efficient in my geekery, and so fucking quick with my stupidity and my drunken fingers, because I was very drunk, I deleted all 10,000 words. Needless to say, I did not feel good about that. Cue 1 hour later, my drunk ass voice dictating what I remember of the 10,000 words in front of Ducky so she could listen. And I now have a really long ass dictation, which, to be fair, definitely caught the spirit of what I was writing. And I've spent most of the weekend trying to transcribe my drunk ramblings, and I'm not even at 5,000 words because it's so difficult. And I'm just like, oof. I feel that oof in my soul. See, Ducky's the writer. I'm not the writer. I can code. I can draw badly. I can do many things. I do the business side mostly. I do all sorts. But I'm not really... I've written plays, but when I've written plays, I've written and directed 7 plays. But when I do that, I'm slaving over the words, and I'm workshopping a lot. Like, I'm getting together scene partners or whatever, and we're workshopping scenes, and we're recording that, and we're writing down the blocking and stuff that we figured out and whatnot. I'm not naturally a written word person. Oration, I can do oration, to no end. Go. That's the colour that we're doing. I just need to mark it out. But yeah, needless to say, it was... upsetting's a word. Upsetting's definitely a word that's accurate to use in that context. And I kid you not, it was literally 5 seconds of stupidity. I realised my mistake within moments of having pushed a button. I knew what I'd done. I knew the stupidity I had wrought on myself. But it was so fast, and I was so quick to go through the prompts warning me, because I had gone through these prompts so many times before, and they're like, don't do this, and I'm like, I don't want to do this. So I can just see if the poor computer was sentient, trying to be like, your drunk ass bitch is gonna delete all your work. I haven't had time to back it up. You just put me on the Wi-Fi for the first time all day. Give me a moment to save your work. I'm like, nah, I need Linux. Why do you need Linux? To get a word count. You already got a word count on the bus. You used Chrome and the fucking inspector, and you fucking wrote some JavaScript on the fucking bus to do this shit. Why are you resetting me? I need Linux. It's fucking 11 o'clock on a Friday night. Your dumbass has been walking around London all day. Why do you need Linux now? I need Linux. I literally have no answer for you. I was just that dumb. I was just that dumb. Yeah. And that is the level of dumb I was on Friday. But hey, most of the day was epic. I managed to recover a drunken voice transcription. And the computer safety guards were not able to save me from my dumbass self. But hey, here we are. We managed. And my pain is now a life lesson for anyone who wants to laugh at my pain. I mean, it's pretty fucking funny. In the moment, I'll tell you, it wasn't fucking funny. In the moment, it was, oh my god, what have you done, murderer? I felt like some vile perpetrator, and was like standing over the digital corpse of my poor laptop going, it just wanted to stop you. But I didn't listen. And that, children, is why you don't order a full-size bottle of sake when you haven't been drinking enough water, and you gobbling down ramen, and you're explaining to your wife how amazing these words you've written are, and how chuffed you are with yourself. Anyway, lessons were learned. The other lesson learned is I need to take more Fridays off, just as an arbitrary thing. And I need to just do my walkabout. Also, normally for my walkabout, I bugger off. I mean, I probably still will for proper walkabouts. Bugger off into the countryside, because I turn off my phone and I go off grid entirely. It's just nice to escape, you know? Really sit with your thoughts. It's a very important activity. Different people do it in different ways. But have some way for you to basically disappear. Probably the most expensive part of walkabout is getting the time off. Once you've got the time off, it's just a matter of walking, really. You can pack food, so you don't have to eat out. To be honest, I think when I first moved to the UK, that's why I started doing walkabout, because I was just broke. I had no money to do nothing. So it was a cheap holiday. When I first moved to the UK, the main holidays I did that, and sorry, I'm there we go. It's very easy to lose yourself in the wash of confetti brown. But yeah, when I first moved to the UK, the main holidays I did was walkabout. And then the other one I did all the time was GMing at role-playing conventions. I love me a good role-playing convention. But one of the things that, especially if you're... I don't know if this is true anymore, but back in the day, role-playing conventions always needed experienced GMs. So if you are PGA certified and of a certain level, depending on how many things you did a year, blah blah blah, they would pay you to GM at cons. Not a lot, but if you and again, it depended on your level how much you got paid. But at my level, if I GM'd 3 out of 4 sessions that I could, then for the RPGA, which is basically the D&D peeps, I would be able to cover my travel costs, cover my accommodation, some food, and that's about it. And I mean, I wasn't traveling in style. I was staying in the cheapest ass accommodation I could, and I was eating not very well, but I was able effectively to have a holiday that was net zero cost. And for my broke butt, that was very, very good. Because I did not have any money to spare, because I was doing my UK degree after having done my South African degree, and I was working full-time while trying to get my UK degree, and I wasn't able to get some of the jobs I'd been able to get in South Africa because just a whole range of reasons, too boring and dull to go into. But yeah, so it was definitely a thing. I look fondly back on it now. But it was a working holiday, and it meant that, I mean, it was a fun holiday, don't get me wrong, it was a very fun holiday. But I was doing a small freelance job on my holiday. That's how I was able to pay for it. Which effectively meant I never had a holiday. Which was strange when you think about it. First ever holiday, what most people would call a holiday, I took as an adult. Sorry, my brain is getting lost in confetti again, and I'm trying to re-find it. The first ever proper holiday I took was to a friend's wedding in Australia, followed by a week in Japan. And that was at the age of... So what, that was 2014? I want to say maybe 2015? Might have been 2015. Anyway, it was a long ass time after I was in my mid to late 2014. So my late 20s. Yeah, my late 20s. First ever time I managed to take a holiday. Prior to that, I'd never taken more than like a handful of days off, and I was usually working or doing walkabout, because walkabout was cheap and working let me travel without spending money. So that was how I did that. It worked out for me. I have very fond memories of those conventions. I have some fucking funny stories as well. Just dumb shit that nerds do at conventions. Very amusing. I have to say, if there's one thing I really missed in 2020, and I did not expect I would have missed it, is tabling at conventions. Because yes, I still work on my holidays. But now we sell books. It's not as much work. did not expect, but it is still work. I will hasten to add, it is still very much work. I did not expect I'd miss it as much as I did. And I think the thing that really upset me was I was so happy to do MCM again soon. Unfortunately, MCM is doing reduced tables and all this stuff because of COVID, and a lot of people, I think, missed tabling, so it was super busy in booking. And so for the first time ever, when we tried to book a table at MCM, we were unable to get one. And I feel very sad about that. I feel very, very sad. I did not expect to feel as sad as I did end up feeling about that. Like it really hit me. I was like, my dumbass wants to go try sell shit to geeks. That's, I really miss, I didn't realize how many friends I only see at conventions. I didn't realize just how much culture and lifestyle I just sucked up at conventions. Like, I just didn't realize how important conventions were to me, That's the long and short of it. I just didn't realize how important conventions were to me. Which is strange, because, yeah. So I think I will be one of those old grannies you see at conventions, running a small table, selling stuff, going, "Oh dearie, your 10th generation Digimon Pokemon fanfic slut fiction, so cute. Do you want to buy a book?" I have no fucking clue what the weebs of like 2050 I'm going to be into, but I'm 100% convinced it is going to be disturbing as hell, and I'm going to have to pretend to be interested. Do you know what the worst part is? I probably will be interested. That is probably the worst part. So I'll be laughing along with their dumbasses. Yep. That is probably the situation we will find ourselves in. Okay, it's definitely below this one. And it's 2 up from here. Your dumbass has made more mistakes in this confetti brown than I care to mention. More mistakes than I care to... Oh no, what are you doing? Are you overheating again? Don't you overheat. There we go. Sorry, I'm just feeling the temp. It's got a temperature warning on it. I don't know what to do to solve the heating problem on it. Well, worst case, if we lose it, we'll go entirely to internal temperature is too high, allow to cool. Well, that sucks. That genuinely sucks. There we go, you get my coffee. I'm rather annoyed by that. I need to figure out a better solution for that. We'll figure one out, but not right now. I thought I had it solved. I thought I'd reconfigured it in such a way that I had it solved. Right, I'm gonna run to this edge of the thing because my dumbass is losing track of where I am and it's very disorientating. Disorientating? Is that a word? Doesn't feel like it's a word. 2 away from the edge. Yeah, marking down is so important for me because I find if I don't, I really do genuinely. I can't zen out because I get lost. I swim in the colours and then the stitches go wherever they go. Have I made a mistake again? No, this runs all the way to this runs all the way to there. Step over by 1. Do a 5 run from there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, there we go. Yeah, as I say, I can get very easily lost in the swim of confetti, colours and symbols. It's one of those things I have to be very careful about. It's like it reminds me of that old cartoon. Be very, very quiet. I'm hunting rabbits. What's that character's name? Elmer Fudd? Yeah, Elmer Fudd. Funny old chap, isn't he? He's animated in such a delightfully flowy way. You know, real... Oh, no. I just dropped a pen cap down my back. Oh no. Oh no. Where the hell's that gone? Dumbass things I did not expect to do today was to attempt to wedge. There we go. Almost lost that green cap to my butt. More accurately, the crook of my chair. Rightio. Okay. 1, 2, 3. There we go. And then 1, 2. There we go. And 1, 2, 3. There we go. It's so funny. I was watching a stream of someone doing a reset speedrun stream of Mario 64. If you don't know what a reset speedrun is, it is you're trying to speedrun a game and then there's some condition that you have set it allows your viewers rather to reset you. It's a fun little way of adding some interactivity and some challenge to a stream. Alright, so anyway, I'm watching one of these and I tune in, and the guy's kind of funny. He's kind of good. He's a pretty neat streamer, speedrunner and all that, and he's got a good vibe going. And as I'm literally tuning in and I'm starting to watch, he is having a fire run. He's on Wampus, and he just gets a gold split. Now, if you don't know what a gold split is, it's when you do so well that it's like a personal best on the split. Anyway, he gets a gold split, and he is over the moon. And one of his conditions to reset is if you follow. Immediately I smash the follow button because I'm like, this guy's funny, and let's just reset him. He set it up. It's his reset stream. It's not like I'm trolling thing. And he gets so upset that he lost the gold. I know that as a streamer he was probably just playing it up for comedy or whatever, but it was fucking hilarious. And so then I vowed to myself, I will not interact with the streamer except at the end of Wampus. So the next time he comes to the end of Wamp, I'm like, ain't gold. And he tilted so hard. It was like a legitimate tilt. He was like, you fucking bitch, come on. And this just continued. The next time he had a really good run on Wampus, I subscribed to reset him. But every time he just had an okay or a bad run on Wampus, I'd just be like, practice isn't getting you gold, is it? Just, it was so funny because I had to hold my tongue for the rest of the time, not say anything the rest of the time, and just wait until he hit that spot, and then just crack a line. And it was probably because I was only speaking at that one time. No matter how busy chat was, he'd be like, damn it, like, you didn't read it every time, but like he reacted to it every time. You could just see, and it was just like, am I being legitimately horrible to this person? I mean, he did set it up, but it was just, I mean, to be fair, at the end he got money and he did his reset thing, and it made for good stream content. So, in the end, the virtuous cycle was maintained, or whatever bullshit you want to describe. Like, the commercial activity was a success, because I mean, it is a commercial activity at the end of the day. But yeah, I just got so much amusement from it. I might go dig and see if he has VODs and just capture that bit of stupidity, because it was so amusing. Because that happened on Saturday, and I'll be honest, I was hungover and salty from losing all those words, so it might have been a little bit of spite on my end at the universe. I may have been a little bit upset at the universe, and watching someone else lose progress maybe made me feel a little bit better. So hey, there is that. It's good to know why you have the feelings you have, especially if they're negative ones. It's good to have that little bit of introspection, but god damn it, was it hilarious. It was just so funny. Because it's like, it's so rare. Gold is just one of those things that when you get it, you're like, damn, I did good. You just feel really good about yourself. And I didn't even let him sit with the gold. And he got close to gold another time, and I immediately like threw money at him. I was like, nope. Reset, it ain't gold. Oh man. Oh, such a stupid small thing. But hey, if you don't get amusement from the stupid small things, like what the point? What's the point? You know. It's so nice just to be able to enjoy those dumb little things. Motherfucker. So my brain was almost. I got lost in the confetti swim. I did get lost for a moment, but then I was like, in getting lost, I had actually found myself. No, it's just... Okay, right. I think I have it all marked out. It only took most of the goddamn stream. I did not realize it would take that long to mark all that out. Yeah. Okay. Let's get started. Remember, folks, the motto of this little stream is just make a little progress each day on a project. Doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be a commercial project. Doesn't have to be fulfilling your like ultimate life dream or whatever. I mean, if it is doing those things, fan-bloody-tastic. You know, that's the great stuff. But just even if you're sitting with us for an hour, you know, you may be making progress outside of this hour. Hell, for all I know, you may be watching this on the VOD. You may be watching this as a YouTube video. But whenever you tune in, just try make that little bit of progress on your own projects. You know? Because that's why I'm doing it. I'm doing it so I have a little bit of accountability each day to help me make that little bit of progress. And this little bit of progress that I make each day on my cross stitch, it's carrying over to other things. It is carrying over to other things because, you know, being productive is addictive's the wrong word. It's catching. It just catches to the rest of your life, you know. It's really hard to feel shitty about a day when you can look back on it and you can go, I did a thing. Doesn't have to be earth-shattering thing. It just can be like, I did the thing. Whatever the thing was, I did it. Really, really does help. I'm writing post-process effects for my boss, and I'm not even paid for that, just for pleasure. Yeah, that's great. Great. You're learning, you're doing a productive thing. You know, well, that's good. That is good. And post-process effects are just fun as fuck to write. They really, really are. I love doing a bit of graphics coding. But yeah, no, I appreciate you chilling. But yeah, no, the even Friday when I had that horrendous, oh my god, I lost 10,000 words and everything. I was able to look at the day, and I was like, well, I got a lot of steps in, you know. I got like 20,000 steps and I walked a bunch. I got the voice dictation out of it, so even though the words were lost, I now have a very drunk Claire talking into a microphone, explaining the words. And hey, I've transcribed about 5,000 of them so far. Cleaned up the grammatical errors that the oration of Claire leaves line about all over a sentence, because let's face it, I treat language with the disdain and adoration that only a native speaker can manage. Like grammar's there more sort of as like painted lines on the road, by which I mean fuck grammar. It's useful for when all of a sudden I realize, oh shit, I'm completely in the wrong lane, but I'm not going to reverse up and drive in the correct lane. I'm just going to swerve violently into wherever I think I should go. It's grammar's an adventure. It annoys my wife no end as a linguist and a translator and someone who professionally deals with language and words. And I'm just like, language. I am the purest form of descriptivist when it comes to language. But yeah, it could have been very easy to let Friday be a bad day. And I'm not going to lie to you, there was definitely, shall we say, some negativity after I deleted those 10,000 words. There's definitely a few negative emotions. But a few hours later, one drunk dictation and a few glasses of water, and I felt a lot better about things. And now looking back on it, and this is probably the biggest thing when you talk about healthy habits, things like making a little bit of progress each day on a project. The biggest part is when I look back on that Friday in my journal, in the calendar, in photos, however I want to rewind to that day. That is a messy stitch. What is up with that stitch? Let me undo that stitch. Okay, there we go. Sort your shit out. Thank you. Yes, however you wanna look back on that day, it was a positive day. Things were achieved, things were done, forward momentum was achieved. That's also why I like doing this first thing in the morning, even though I'm not a morning person. I'm very much not a morning person. It does mean, no matter what happens for the rest of the day, I've got a tick in the win column. And that really does help. Gosh, sometimes I wish I was a morning person though. My wife is. You've also got to just acknowledge what your body and what your mind is cooked up for, right? My body, my mind, it's equipped for late nights. That's what it is. I am nocturnal in nature and habit, but more than that, I'm nocturnal in spirit. There are certain behavior patterns associated with people who are nocturnal, and I definitely have those behavior patterns because it goes deeper than what time you're awake, because work and circumstance can force you into a cycle that is not natural to you. It's not what your genetics and your upbringing and your combination of nature and nurture have formed and solidified into your brain meets. It's cooked in, however you want to say it. It's cooked into your soul now. Maybe if you're a small child, you can change it or whatever. And of course, you can always make minor adjustments. Humans are never a finished work. You can always work on yourself and change things slowly over time if you're so inclined. But I would definitely say that there are habits there are qualities that night people have and that morning people have. And don't forget those regular ass day people, you know. There's in fact, to be honest, they're the bell curve. They're the majority, you know. There's very few people who operate well at 4 in the morning and 3 in the morning, approach from opposite ends. That overlap is small. The majority of people are pretty well keyed to, shall we call them, the regular opening hours. So I'm thinking, so I could hop the line across. Yeah, let's hop the line across, fuck it. Is that right? No, need to go. Somewhere. Nope, completely wrong direction. One more over. Here we go. Yeah, you know, it's one of those things that it's useful to know this stuff about yourself. You know, I think there's so much like bullshit ink written about like self-help stuff. I am a firm atheist, but I will say I am more inclined to put stock in religious practice than I am New Age hippies, because religious practice, generally speaking, has been quality controlled. If there's something that humanity's been doing for a long ass time, hey, it might not be the best way. Almost certainly isn't. That's why science is around. But it's at least quality controlled, so you know it's not a destructive behavior most of the time. You know, I have a lot of patience to give for ritualistic behavior that has been tested out by our ecclesiastical brethren, shall we say. To wit, there is an old monk thing. I'm trying to remember which monk it is. Pretty sure it's one of the English ones. Might have been one of the German ones. But I'm pretty sure it was an English one. I'm trying to remember the exact saying. The saying goes something like, the study of God is the study of yourself, and you never shall complete it. Oh, thank you. I'm glad I provided that. I did just have to update a link on one of my, I say one of my, definitely my most popular video, my compute shaders, the Google Drive link had timed out or something, and I was starting to get emails, people requesting access to a file, and I was like, what? Why are people requesting access to this file? And then it was because Google had rotated some security key on that or whatever, so I had to update it. At some point I might do some more educational programming stuff, but if I do, I'll probably do it in Godot or plain C, because I refuse to use Unity these days. Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, this monkish concept that the study of self was the study of God, I always found very, very interesting. It's not an uncommon concept. It's been phrased by many religious scholars because, at least in Christianity specifically, it's the whole maiden image or whatever. But the interesting thing about it is this concept outside of the religious context, that we don't actually know who we are, and we have to slowly and surely discover that. It's just a concept I find very appealing, and one I find generally tracks with people who, in modern hippie parlance or in modern New Age speak, the phrase would be doing the work. To understand others and to understand yourself. Because that's the other thing. To understand others by doing a bit of self-reflection always helps. And hey, with that said, we have somewhat come full about turn back to where this whole day started with our conversation, talking about me going on walkabout. One of the reasons I go on walkabout, if not the main reason. It's a very useful one at that. A very, very useful one at that. But yeah, I genuinely wish more people had the opportunity to go on sabbatical. When I almost literally joined one company, so this was back before I joined Sony. I was going to join a few different companies, and one of them was Arm. This was back before they were bought by the Chinese firm. I forget which firm bought them. Anyway, Arm is one of the few tech companies that still do sabbaticals. And I just love the concept of a good sabbatical because, let's be honest, most people know that you change or should change job every 3 years or so, maybe between 2 and 8 years, depending on profession and a few other things. But it's a good idea generally because of capitalism and other bullshit, and just because it's nice to have a fresh set of eyes to change job. Now, historically, if you were an IBM or an ARM or in any of these places, that change of job would be an internal move. For instance, I now say that I had 2 jobs at Sony, one in Central Tech and one in Media Molecule, because it does feel like 2 different jobs. However, the point I was making was ARM does old school academic style sabbaticals, where after a certain number of years of service, I forget the exact number, I think at the contract level I was hiring on, I think it was 4 or 5 years, you were required, it wasn't optional, you were required to take a sabbatical of full paid sabbatical of, I think it was 3 months, it might have been 6. Generally these things are flexible and negotiable and blah blah blah. But just that culture of your staff going on sabbatical, it's good for the staff because it's that walkabout, it's that soul food time, it's the however you want to describe it. There's so many ways to describe that process. So it's good for the employee itself, but then it's also good for the business, because the business needs to learn how to cope without that person. What if that person dies tomorrow? Maybe there's been someone who has been outshined because that person is just so damn good at what they do that your second tier person who's really good, way better than people remember from the last time this happened, just needed a moment of breathing room. Maybe their absence shakes up the dynamic. Who knows? But yeah, I'm a big fan of sabbaticals and I'm a big fan of walkabouts. So not a ton of needle poking time today. Instead, we mostly marked confetti. So if you see here, we did this little bit here. We did these bits here. But then if you see all those green dots, that's basically what took most of our time, was navigating, marking that out. And for those of you who are curious, there's the back stitch. You can see there's the long run that I was talking about. So it's pretty long run back stitch, especially because there's not much work in that, there's no work in that area that's going to pin it down. But I have tried to pin it with stitches on either end, so it shouldn't yank and pull too much. But I figured it would be less wasteful than pulling and starting afresh. Well, that being said, let me pop that there because that is the next bit of thread I'm going to definitely be using. I'm not going to secure it away, I'm going to need it. Thanks everyone for dropping by. I will solve the overheating camera even if I have to switch camera tech stuff over. It's rather annoying. It wasn't overheating, but now it is overheating. Don't know why. Just need a small change, and that small change has caused that. Oh well. For now, bye bye, and I'll see you when I see you.